Welcome, I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios in the UK, you're watching the Top Gun Sales and Marketing Channel on the BVTV network. Showing yourself can accelerate your business. If you're still doing your marketing and communications the same way you've done for years, then it's time for an awakening. Not only has the pandemic changed the way of business, but it's also moved marketing forward 9 years in 9 months, some say. As a business leader, you need both for yourself and your business to be even more visible, to show yourself, to stand out from the pack. Now, to achieve this means a change and certainly some expertise to help you. 2 areas to substantially improve visibility includes guesting on shows like this and also writing a book. My guest today can help you with both and knows how great media exposure can help you accelerate your business. So let's say welcome, Irene Gabelnick. Welcome, Irene.
Hi, Malcolm. How are you?
This is my final interview of what has been a very, very strange year of 2020. So I'm glad it's you, so we could have a laugh as we're doing it rather than a grumpy old interview at the end. Yeah.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Irene, before we get into some great advice thinking, tell us what you do and who you do it for.
Well, my name's Irene Gabelnick, and I am the founder of The Power of Writing, and I help authors and entrepreneurs build your brand by writing a book, becoming a published author, and by getting national publicity and media exposure for your business.
Brilliant. Now, I called it showing yourself in my opening piece to mean increasing visibility. But in your mind, why should business leaders be increasing their visibility at this time?
Well, as you know, Malcolm, everyone has been forced to take their business online. And we are so saturated now with all of the businesses and people starting online businesses. Just because they have no choice, making it more important now than ever to be able to set yourself apart and stand out in the crowd, because, you really have to, you have to stand out in the crowd. And if I could share kind of a cute little story, is that okay, Malcolm?
Yeah, please.
So one of my favorite movies is that movie, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. It's with Reese Witherspoon, and she's everything she does is pink. So she wants to become a lawyer, and she wears pink, and her resume is pink, and she read somewhere she has to stand out, and so everything's pink. And so I can't think. Legally Blonde.
Right. Yeah.
So I call it Lessons from a Legally Blonde Babe, right? Because there's so many great golden nuggets in that movie, and she's so cute. I love Reese Witherspoon. But it really is a powerful story about building your brand and reaching the top by standing out.
Excellent. Yes. Now, media, though, is very fragmented these days with so much choice. How do you suggest someone plans their media attack or campaign? Certainly not a shotgun scatter approach.
Well, I think I'd like to talk about what people might not realize or isn't, obviously it's a no-brainer. You want to get on the bigger and better shows. I'm ready to go on the Today Show, and I know it's happening soon, but I'm not there yet. But you really can't discount the smaller shows, and even like yours, not to say you're a small show, but you're a targeted show with authors and entrepreneurs and business owners. And sometimes it's better to go on a show that has your ideal target audience, the people who want what you're offering, who want what you need or need what you have, because you're really helping someone and building your audience by helping those very specific people. So I think that's a good strategy to take.
Yeah, I quite agree with it. It's our strategy for our business. And we think that volume is vanity, but, niche is strategy. and our sanity in some
Absolutely.
cases. I know from our experience that we've got a very strict criteria for guest selection. It's our secret formula, you know. We give guidance on our website, but the final decider is that secret formula. Are we usual or unusual in that? And how do you advise clients to approach media like ourselves?
Well, I have to say, one of the things that holds people back from contacting shows like you is imposter syndrome. I mean, we all feel it. And even like rock stars feel it. I mean, it's something that you never completely overcome, but that you have to build your brand and get into the media. I actually have a brand new ebook called Podcast Power that gives you templates and a very quick and easy system for finding the perfect shows for you and for getting in the media quickly, which is how I found your show, Malcolm. And but what you can do is just, I mean, there's so much information out there. You can find a list of your top podcasts that you listen to that have your perfect target audience, then plan out to contact so many every day or every week, or, you know, plan maybe once a week for an hour or two, and just start sending those email templates that I share inside Podcast Power. And you have to come up with a hook and send them something that their audience needs, maybe something that's a missing piece or someone hasn't talked about that can help their people, help their audience. I mean, the show doesn't care about you. The audience doesn't care about you. No one does. They want to know, how can you help me? Yeah. So if you use that strategy, you should have great success.
I like that. That's so true. So true. For guests to our shows, and we like to look after our guests. We're very proud that somebody will come on. So, you know, we make the effort, as you know, on sending information and trying to handhold right the way through to beyond the interview. But for our guests, for our shows, we like a one-page pitch. But I have to say, Irene, so many pitches are very poor and too full of PR speak. How do you advise your clients on pitching and getting past that PR speak that all of them seem to want to put into?
Well, again, nobody cares about you. I'm sorry to say, we all love you. Whoever's listening to this, they love you. Your audience loves you, but the host cares about their audience. So many people, and I've even been taught this by certain like very, very prestigious, media connectors, and they teach to talk about yourself first. And no, that's the absolute wrong approach. Yeah. You want to say why you're contacting them, give them a quick idea segment. And again, it has to be quick because they have so many people they're filtering through. They get so many guest show requests. They don't have time to read a long email. So come up with your hook, something that will help their audience. Then give a few bullet points, just 3 to 4. You don't need a lot, and say, these are some talking points I can share. And then your about you part, I mean, that should be last, you know, just real quickly. And again, don't make it long. 1 to 2 quick sentences using your best, your best selling points. Like now I can finally say, which is super exciting, that I'm an international best-selling author. So you want to give something about yourself, an accomplishment that's going to grab their attention, and then just end. Say, I look forward to speaking with you. So just keep it simple.
That's great advice, Irene. I've got to tell you that Kim, my guest director today, got one request through, and it said, I think I'll be very good on your show. Here's a link to something I did on YouTube. And that was it.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
You know, and people just don't know, which is why it's so important that you buy my Podcast Power book.
Yes, of course. I fed you that one, didn't I? I fed you that one.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you. But that's working together, right? We're working together. No, but I mean, it's so important because it really can help you. And it's such a system. It's a very short read. It's only 10 pages, but it gives you exactly what you need. Exactly. And I share with you my personal system that I use to land national publicity. And I've been on so many shows. I mean, it's just, I have to slow myself down sometimes because it's exhausting, and there are a lot of things to fit into your schedule. So
yeah. And it's true. We do get a lot. I mean, we've interviewed 300 people like yourself and business and thought leaders around the world since March. Now, it's not a question of next, because we want to do a lot of research, because we want to make sure our viewers and listeners, because we take the audio out for our podcasts, are getting value when they come to us, and that's why they will recommend us. Now, what do you personally think is the best and the fastest way to get good media interviews? And I mean good media interviews.
Honestly, it's by writing a book, becoming a published author. When I first started my business, I had this little blog, not many followers, and I was focusing on social media and just getting my name out there. And I knew that I needed to get media exposure. And I was getting on shows, but they're really just not my perfect audience. I was taking anything I could get because I was just getting my feet wet. Yeah. And then I read somewhere, you have to write a book. Well, that year, in only 2 weeks, this is the last 2 weeks of 2017, and I wrote, published, and sold the very first copy of my first book. It became easy. I was going on like big shows like Heartpreneur Radio, World's Most Amazing People. And then only 2 months after I wrote my book, I was going on so many shows. I actually was asked to become the health and fitness expert on a live radio show where I went live every month in front of millions of listeners. So that's the power of what one book can do for your business.
Wow. Now, most people think they have a book in them, but they never get around to writing it. Why do you think that is, and how do you help them?
Well, I think, the biggest drawbacks that people tell me are time. And I've heard so many people tell me that the idea of writing a book seems daunting. So let's just nip that first one in the bud. Okay, time. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. Okay, so it's not really time that's stopping you. It's making it a priority. Yeah. If you haven't written your book, it's not because you don't have the time. It's because you made the choice to watch your favorite TV show instead of writing your book, right? It's a choice. And I teach very quick ways that you can actually write a book in a weekend. So I kind of know all the ins and outs and all the tips and tricks to write a book quickly. And the idea of it being daunting, what one of my clients who just published her first book, it was so exciting. She's so excited. It's a wonderful book. What she told me was when I told her, it doesn't have to be like your best book ever. It doesn't even have to be your number one best-selling book. It just has to be your first. And that was what got her to finally take action. And once you write your first book, the process just gets easier and easier. And I've written over a dozen. Honestly, I have books saved that I've forgotten about. I've written so many for lead magnets and just for so many reasons, and for fun, because I love to write. So honestly, and get a coach. I'm coaching one person right now. I just coached one person who just finished, and I'm very, very selective about who I work with. And I only take on very few clients at a time because I have so much going on. But I also have an upcoming course that's starting in the new year. It's going to be a live interactive course where I take you from blank page to published author in only 40 days.
Wow.
Yeah. But I felt for 2 weeks was too rushed. I look back, I could have been skiing. I could have been at the mall with the kids, but I was determined. But I think that's really a fair amount of time where it's not over consuming, that you can really get your first book done.
Brilliant. I like that. Now, just before I move on to my next question, Irene, I just want to remind viewers and listeners of your URL where they can go and find out and read so much more about you. And please do sign up for Irene's newsletters. I do. They're a really interesting read, but we'll not go into one or two of them, will we? Right. The URL is www, obviously, there, Irene Gabelnick, and I'll spell that out for my listeners. It's Gabelnick, Gabelnick, Gabelnick.com, IreneGabelnick.com. Right, now, Irene, this year I've interviewed around 200 authors out of the hundreds that we've done on business leaders. My moan, because I'm allowed to moan now, isn't it? It's the end of the year and all that stuff.
It's over now.
Yes, yeah. My moan is that they expect me to see how their book would appeal to our audience, and they send me very little info about the book. It's obvious that they haven't done any research about us, and they've simply sent a standard pitch broadcast to everybody. That says to us all that all they're after is exposure, whereas our first and total consideration, and always will be, is our audience, with our mission to inform, improve, and ignite them. Do you agree with that thinking? And how should authors take time to do a personalized pitch?
Absolutely, Malcolm. You bring up a really good point. And I have to say, my experience with you and Kim and your team has been wonderful. Just the follow-up, the follow-through, asking me to put my logo, and giving me an indication of what we're going to discuss so I can be prepared, and asking me if I'm comfortable with it or if I can make any suggestions. Fantastically done. Absolutely fantastic. And what I would say to authors is that take time to watch the show, go to the website, learn who the audience is. You shared that with me from the get-go through radioguestlist.com. So that I was super grateful for that, because I could see this show, his audience is a perfect fit for something I can help them with. So look at those details. Always go to the website, always look and see if it's a good fit for your show. And what was really helpful that I do sometimes, and sometimes it takes a few requests before you get on a show, but listen to one of the other episodes of the podcast or the show and make a comment. I saw that I listened to that episode or saw that episode, and I thought, wow, what a wonderful story that was. And I really think I could bring value to your audience. And this is why. Again, nobody cares about your book. Just that's last. That should be the last thing in your pitch is, I'm the author of your points on why you want to get on the show should be what you can do to help the listeners. What can you share of value to help your listeners? I can't stress that enough. It's so important.
Spot on. I once remember I was making a film for BBC, and I was interviewing the editor of the local daily business newspaper about what makes a good story. And it says, a good story should always be where somebody's at the bar reading the newspaper and nudges the guy next to him. Hey, did you see this in the paper?
Nice. I love that. Can I steal that, Malcolm?
Yes, have it.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's true. It's always stuck with me, and it's on the film forever that we've got with BBC. And I think it's a really, it's what it's about, isn't it? Yes. Irene, I want to ask you about what inspired you to write your own books. Tell us about your bestseller and how you went about producing it.
Wow. My first book was a health and fitness book. It's actually a weight loss book. And I started, my niche started out with helping entrepreneurs be healthy and fit. And after I wrote my first book, everyone wanted to know more about how to write a book than my weight loss book. But I still love my first book. It's called Zipping It Up, How to Lose 5 Pounds Fast and Look Great in That Little Black Dress. And I still, like I said, I love it. But how I became an international best-selling author, and wait a minute. It hit the charts on day one of the release. And by day 3, we were number 1 in the UK, Canada. We were number 2 in the US and number 4 in India.
Wow.
And even in the US, we were number 2, and we were ahead of Jeff Bezos on his own platform on Amazon. So we were like, woohoo, we beat Jeff Bezos. So that was fun. We had a great time with it. But how we did it so quickly is 29 of us collaborated, and just amazing authors who all put together a chapter inside our book. And all of us, the power of collaboration and numbers. And we all, blasted it out to our email list, all over social media. We ran ads to it. And it was the power of connection, community, collaboration that made us so successful. So it was so exciting, just wonderful to be a part of it.
Yes.
And it's called The Power of Why. And it's why 28 women, and there's one man in the book, but it's 28 women created an online course, and why you should too.
Brilliant. I like that.
Yes,
Repeat the title of the book for people listening.
It's called The Power of Why 28 women created an online course, and why you should too.
Excellent. Okay. Irene, it's last question for me of 2020, So I like to give all my guests 3 wishes. And yours are for the understanding by business leaders of the need and the value of showing themselves. What are your 3 wishes?
My 3 wishes for you are to, if you're not already, become a published author. And if you are, sometimes that little book, Rich Man, Poor Man, okay, he had like 1,300 copies in his garage, okay? And look at it now. It's the #1 international best-selling finance book. So it's never too late to bring back your book and start to market it. Maybe do a new book cover. But my second wish is to get into the media and build your brand as a business. And again, if you haven't, write that book. And my third wish is just for you to stay safe and healthy, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your business, and you can't take care of your family, and you can't help anybody else. So that's my third wish, is to stay healthy.
Irene, those are 3 great wishes to kick off 2021. I've been talking to Irene Gabelnick of irenegabelnick.com, and I just really enjoyed myself. Thank you, Irene.
Malcolm, thank you so much. And also, if you go to my website, I have a free guide, 10 easy steps to start writing your book today. So it's free. So grab it up and start writing that book and get out there. Thank you so much, Malcolm.